So I think DeepSeek has to be one of the most popular movement in generative AI, maybe after ChatGPT, or maybe given the interest in this model, I think it has even surpassed ChatGPT in many levels. So I remember looking at a news channel that I generally watch for some politics news, and they were talking about DeepSeek. Some everywhere, so it is everywhere. So there are a lot of there is a lot of interest around what this model is exactly, and there is also a lot of confusion about how it works, if you want to use it or build with it, how to do it. So there are a lot of questions. So in this session, you will get answers to all those things. So we try to create this session where we will try everything about, we will give you an idea of what DeepSeek is, what are the new models, how do they work, how do you build apps with it. So it's going to be a comprehensive session that will help you understand everything about DeepSeek. So we have made our effort to do that. And I hope that it is going to be a very interesting session. Okay, so if you're new to our channel, you can join our Telegram group. So generally we give our WhatsApp group, but our WhatsApp community is full. So we'll shortly send a Telegram group to our channel shortly. So you can join the group for learning more about this. So as mentioned, I think this was the meme that our team has created a while back. Just to understand, to summarize everything that is happening with DeepSeek Saga, I think this was a great image to see. So where DeepSeek is actually making a lot of advancements in AI, while a lot of US companies are struggling, and there is a havoc in the stock market also. If you've noticed, so Nvidia lost around $600 billion in market cap, and Microsoft is down by 6%, and there are many companies that have lost. So what is this DeepSeek exactly, and why is it causing stocks to crash? Uh, like, how good is the model? How to use this model? So these are all the things that we will try to cover. Okay. So before starting this, so I just want to quickly introduce myself. So there might be a lot of people who are attending our sessions for the first time. So for them, I'll want to quickly introduce about myself and what we do at Build Fast with AI. So I'll just take 2-3 minutes of your time to do that. So first of all, to introduce myself, so my name is Satvik. So I'm the founder of Build Fast with AI. So the Build Fast with AI is the organization that is putting together this session. So I'll talk more about what we do very shortly. But about my background, so I got educated from IIT Delhi. So I did both my BTech and MTech at IIT Delhi. And then after studying there, I went on to work for multiple corporate companies in data science and machine learning domains. But I was already always passionate about education, and I ran my first edtech company while I was still at college at IIT. And so currently, so this was my first innings as an entrepreneur, where I ran an edtech company while I was at college. And then, as mentioned, I went on to work for a couple of corporate companies in different data science and machine learning roles. So currently, I run Build Fast with AI, which also happens to be my second innings as an entrepreneur. And I really feel that this is an opportunity where I get to combine my love for teaching as well as my interest in machine learning and data science. So I get a chance to teach people about artificial intelligence and some latest technologies. So this is what we primarily do. So what are the other things that Build Fast with AI does? And if you are someone who is interested in learning more about generative AI, or if you want to get started with this, how do you do that? So I'll just give a quick intro of who we are and what we do. So if someone asks me what does Build Fast with AI, I would just tell this one line: we enable AI ideas to reality. So you could be individual, you could be a company, you could be a group of people. So we will help you convert your AI ideas to reality. And how do we do that? So we do organize a lot of workshops. So like the one that you are in right now about DeepSeek, about, we also did a lot of sessions on various different topics. So we have our own courses on generative AI, which is a 6-week long flagship course that will help you get started with generative AI. And we also do consulting. So if you are a company or if you are a startup who is wanting to integrate generative AI into your services, we will also provide that. And why did we start this? And what's the point of this entire exercise? So one thing that we have noted is, let's say if this is the number of advancements that are happening in generative AI. So if you look at how much individuals are using it, or maybe it's less than 5%. So let's say if 100 advancements are happening in generative AI, if you look at the companies or individuals, they are not even able to leverage 5% of it. So one clear example is DeepSeek, right? So millions of people heard about DeepSeek, but how many of them are actually using DeepSeek for some real use cases? Or maybe how many are clearly able to understand what DeepSeek exactly is and how to leverage it to fullest? So there is a lot of gap everywhere when you look at generative AI. So there is too much happening and not a lot of action directly within companies or individuals. So we are currently primarily a community of more than 15,000 members. So we have organized more than 150 workshops over the last 18 months on different topics on generative AI, like the one DeepSeek that you're attending today. So we have done sessions on all the major models. So we have done sessions on RAG, fine tuning, and you name it. We have already done that. So we have also helped more than 10 companies, corporates, and startups to transition with generative AI. And all in all, me and the team included have built more than 200 applications, AI applications that are being used, some ranging from simple POCs to applications that are now being used by lakhs of people. So this is a brief background of if you have any use cases where you want to learn generative AI or maybe want to integrate generative AI somewhere, so you can join us in our channel. Okay. So one more thing that I was talking about is let's say if you are someone who wants to get started with your generative AI journey and want to know how to get started. So we have this 6 week 6 week course that will take you from 0 to 1 in generative AI. So what we also feel is that 2025 is going to be a very big year for AI, and we want you to be ready for it. So this 6 week course is going to be a perfect solution for that. Without any delay, I'll just get started about the DeepSeek session. So today we have all gathered to learn about DeepSeek. So there are a lot of things that you need to know about it. What exactly is DeepSeek? What is the new model? Why is that model so good? How can you use it? How can you build with it? So these are all the questions that I will try to cover today. So first we will talk about what exactly is DeepSeek, right? So what is the DeepSeek R1 model, or what is the DeepSeek V3 model that is actually making a lot of waves, right? And is it actually better than OpenAI's O1 model or the other top models that there are there? So first, once we investigate the basic issue on what is DeepSeek, what are the models, how is the performance and all, we will try to understand how you can use this DeepSeek model. So what are the different chatbots, free chatbots that are available as of today that will allow you to use DeepSeek, and how can you get these APIs also to build that? And then I'm going to show you how you can build a chatbot, your own personal chatbot using DeepSeek. And I will also show you an example of how you can build a quiz application. So you can use DeepSeek API to create some advanced quiz application that I'm going to show you shortly. And if you're going to stick around till the end, so I'm going to show you a bonus thing where I will show you how you can run DeepSeek on your laptop without any internet or Bluetooth. So it's like having ChatGPT on your computer 24/7 for free without Wi-Fi or without Bluetooth, right? So this is going to be a very interesting bonus section. So if you stick around till the end, we will also tell you how you can do. And one amazing thing about this is that you don't need a decked up laptop. You don't need a latest version of laptop. Even if you have an old i5 version or something like that, it will still work very well, right? So these are the things that I will try to cover in this session today. First, we will understand background about DeepSeek, what is the new model, and then we will try to learn about how you can use that model in different ways. So first of all, what exactly is DeepSeek? So DeepSeek is an AI startup founded in 2023. So not long ago, maybe just 1.5, 2 years back. And One other thing is that this is not a startup in traditional sense. It's not like this startup has born out of some VC funded company or something like that. It's actually a side project of a Chinese hedge fund. So there is a company called High Flyer, so which is a Chinese based quant trading firm. So they have around $8 billion in assets under management. So this company already had GPUs that they were using for trading. So as a side project, engineers at DeepSeek have engineers at Highflyer have started developing models and using it. So that is how DeepSeek was born, right? So in a traditional sense, it is not a startup born out of some people, but it's actually a spin-off of a hedge fund. And what is so special about DeepSeek is that they are at the forefront of releasing open source LLMs. So let's say if you look at ChatGPT, if you look at Claude or maybe other models, so these models are all closed source models. You can only use those models through their chatbots or through their APIs. But these models are something that you can download, you can play around with, you can fine tune it, you can do anything with them, right? So DeepSeek actually specializes in releasing open source LLMs. And one thing about these models is that these models are exceptionally good at coding and math, right? So since this model is coming from a quant trading firm, so we could probably expect that is there, but these models are generally very good at coding and math. And they also say in mission statement that they are going to make AI more accessible and cost effective. So if you look at the releases that they have had before, so they are surely contributing to this aspect. So they are making AI more accessible and cost effective. And everyone got to know about DeepSeek through various like they have seen very at different places. So one such thing happened last week is that so it became a top free app in Play Store, right? So if you look at if you go even now, I guess if you go to Play Store or App Store, so you actually find DeepSeek as one of the most downloaded app, right? So one misconception that people might have is, okay, ChatGPT has been around for 2 years. Maybe apps like Perplexity or even Copilot by Microsoft have been around for 2 years, little less than 2 years, but yeah. But how did DeepSeek come out of nowhere? Right. So this is actually a misconception. This is not actually true that they came out of nowhere. But in actuality, as I mentioned, they were founded in the year 2023. And DeepSeek R1, the model that is gaining all the popularity, is not their first model. So they have actually released a lot of models. So if you look at this, this was a tweet that I found. And I have been following DeepSeek for more than a year myself. So I have used their very first model also. So I have been using their different coder models and other version 2 models till now. So DeepSeek is not a new company, and DeepSeek R1 is not their first model. So they have been releasing stellar models. So they have been releasing stellar models for over 1.5 years now. So DeepSeek R1 is probably their 10th or 11th model or something, right? So the misconception about they coming out of nowhere and releasing is wrong. So they have been developing and they have been very, very good at releasing models for over 1.5 years now. And the real turning point came when they have released their new model called DeepSeek R1. So what happened exactly? So this company has been around for 1-2 years. So they have been releasing models. But what happened was on 20th Jan. So on 20th Jan, which happens to be the day when Trump took over White House, it also happens to be my birthday as well. But otherwise, DeepSeek has released DeepSeek R1 model, and they have announced that their model is on par with OpenAI's O1 model. So O1 model is the best model that is available in the world today. So you can only access this if you paid $20 or $200 subscription to OpenAI. And they claim that they have created a model out of China with very little resources, which is going to beat O1 model, right? And one other thing that they have done is they have open sourced it. So it's not a closed source model that someone owns. So you can actually download this model on your system. You can use it as you want. You can build on apps on top of it, or even you can build some technology on top of it and sell it to someone as well. So they have released this DeepSeek R1 model, which is causing a lot of waves. right? So what is so special about this model? So let us try to understand what this model is exactly, why is it special, and what do we get to do with that. So DeepSeek R1, so the model that was released on 20th Jan, not very long ago, just 10 days back, right? So DeepSeek R1 is an open source model with 671 billion parameters. And it is a SOTA reasoning model. SOTA actually means state of the art. So state of the art means the top model. So the number one model that is there. So they have released this state of the art reasoning model, and which is actually scoring some crazy numbers in maths and coding. So OpenAI's best was around 95% or 94%. But this company out of nowhere has generated a model that is actually beating O1 model and other top models like Claude Sonnet in their own game, right? And as mentioned, this is an open source model that you can download and use it as you want. So if you want to look at how significant this is, so you can actually look at this graph also. So currently, DeepSeek R1 model, it's a free model, and it is available for everyone to use. So you can look at the numbers as to how this model is performing. So there are different benchmarks. So let's say AM, so this is a maths benchmark. So this is a coding benchmark, and MMLU is general reasoning benchmark. So there are different benchmarks that people have ran these models on. You can see the first line is actually DeepSeek model, and the second one is O1 model, right? So you can see that DeepSeek and O1 models are head to head in almost all of the cases. And even in some cases like maths or even in coding, you can see that O1 model is better. Sorry, R1 model is better than O1 model, right? And one more thing that I wanted to mention is DeepSeek R1 was released in this year, but just in December, they have also released one wonderful model called DeepSeek V3, so which was a competition to GPT-4o model. So the thing is, we have this company from China, so that has released two wonderful models in the span of 1 month. So R1 model, which is a competitor of O1 and other models. So we have a DeepSeek V3 model, which is a competitor to GPT-4 model, right? So two models in a span of 1 month, fully open source, anyone can use it. So these are the things that are happened. So this is a backstory of like what the company is, what is the model that they have released, and how all of this is working. So but you might ask me, okay, people keep releasing models. So a model is released. So maybe next month some other company releases some other model. So this number one game is something that keeps going on for a while, right? So OpenAI releases something, some other company releases something better, then someone else will beat something else. But so what? So you might say, okay, DeepSeek has released world's best model, but what's so special about this? So the speciality is that they have like Andre Karpathy, so one of the famous researchers in AI, says that this model was built on a joke budget. Joke budget is basically this model was built just for $5 million, which is closely equivalent to, let's say, 40 crores, right? So if you compare with how much money OpenAI has spent on GPT-4 model. So GPT-4 model, approximately people say that it costs anywhere between 100 to $200 million, right? So here there is a company that has built a state of the art model with 1/20th of the cost, right? So the idea is, yeah. So few reasons why this is very significant is they have built this at 1/20th or maybe 1/30th of the cost that OpenAI or other companies is taking. And the other thing is, let's say if you look at companies like Meta, OpenAI, or something. So these companies have bought a ton load of GPUs from Nvidia and other companies, right? So they have purchased around 100,000, 200,000 GPUs. So some millions of GPUs are being purchased from Nvidia and other companies. So people have believed that if you want to train a state-of-the-art model, you will need hundreds of thousands or millions of GPUs. But this model, they claim that they have trained it only on 2,000 GPUs. So the reason why Nvidia stock crashed. So if I want to show you the graph also, you can see this. So I keep posting regularly on LinkedIn, so try to follow me. Okay. So you see that Nvidia stock has been down by 17% just in one day, because everyone says that to train AI models, you will actually need hundreds of thousands of GPUs. But here is a company that has built it for just 2000 GPUs. So this is something that this is one of the reasons why Nvidia stock price crashed. And they also say that they're affordable. They are also giving an API. So if you want to download the model, you can download and use it. Or if you want, you can also use it through their API. So their API is only costing around $2 per million tokens. So in comparison, OpenAI's model actually costs you $60 for the same thing. So it's like 1/30th cost. So let's say, as a company, if I want to develop an AI application today, and for my API cost, if I'm using an O1 model, so let's say I'm having to spend 30 lakhs. So if I'm using an R1 model, I'm only spending 1 lakh. So let's say spending 30 lakhs on API is out of reach of many companies, right? So, but maybe 1 lakh is something that many can do. Or maybe you might not even want to spend this much, but you get the point, right? So you are able to develop something which is at a fraction of cost and better quality. And they have also released multiple distilled versions. So they have taken the 600 billion parameter model and they have divided, or maybe they have compressed into different sizes also, and different sizes around a 1.5 billion parameter, a 7 billion, 32, 70, and so on. So they have released around 6 different sizes of the models also that you can download and play around. And it's completely open source and free to use. So any company, so as of today, your company can download this model and create a chatbot on it and give it to your users. And you can download it on your own environment. You don't have to purchase, you don't have to send your data to some external company or anything. You can process everything by yourself. So this is the background of why this model is getting all the fame, why Nvidia's stock price crashed, and why is OpenAI, Microsoft, and every other big company scared because of the small model, because of the small company. But one thing out of all these things, one thing that I can't really comprehend is how famous this model has become in a very short time. So you see that this is the search volume for ChatGPT, right? And these are the search volumes for Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. Like, I think I forgot to include Copilot, but Copilot is also somewhere down here, right? So these companies like Claude, Gemini, Perplexity have spent millions of dollars on publicity, right? So they have spent millions of dollars on publicizing or advertising and everything. So they didn't even come close to ChatGPT. So look at how much difference is between ChatGPT and other models, right? But this model, relatively unknown model, so it was also unknown, right? So if you look at the popularity of DeepSeek, so the popularity of DeepSeek was below Perplexity, it was below Claude and Gemini and all. And maybe 2 days back, DeepSeek has first time crossed. So more people are searching for DeepSeek than ChatGPT, right? So this is something that many big companies, even Microsoft, or even Google or Anthropic, these companies were not able to achieve this feat. But DeepSeek was able to do it, again at a joke budget, as people say. So, and you can also see if you open Twitter or maybe news, so you see a lot of big companies in US actually targeting DeepSeek with a lot of different controversies and everything. So, what exactly are those controversies? So, why is what are the main controversies that are around these models? So, the first controversy around this model is that they say that DeepSeek has actually copied OpenAI's models. So they have stole their technology somewhere, or maybe they have stole their data. So if you look at this meme also, so you see that OpenAI is actually OpenAI, to be honest, has stole data from many news companies, entire internet. So they have stolen and they have feeded it to ChatGPT. And now there is DeepSeek. DeepSeek says that like OpenAI says that they have stole a lot of data from ChatGPT to actually train that. So which might be true to a certain extent, but again, it's overblown in my opinion. And so this is the first controversy where OpenAI says that okay, DeepSeek has actually copied our data. They have copied our models and techniques or something. And the second controversy is that they have a lot more GPUs. So let's say in numbers, they say that they only have 2000, 2000 GPUs. But few people say that it's actually a number made to mislead people, right? So they say that actually DeepSeek all has around 50,000 GPUs and not 2000. So they are giving these numbers just to get some clout, or maybe to uh, show American companies that, let's say, they are very inefficient with what they do. And one other controversy is that it's actually a DeepSeek model is actually uh, let's say a psyop by CCP, or maybe the Communist Party of China. So Xi Jinping, they say that this is a tool that they have released to capture over the world, or maybe capture the AI market or something, which in my opinion is the most baseless thing, because this model, whenever you use this model, you are not sending any data to China unless you are using their chatbot directly. So if you are using this chatbot, using let's say Perplexity or maybe some other APIs, you are not sending your data to China at all. Or if you are even more doubtful about this, you can actually download the model on your computer. You can switch off your internet, you can switch off your Bluetooth and still use these models, right? So there is no point of, so you are not even sending your data to your internet service provider, but how could you be sending this model data to China, right? So of course, if you are using their DeepSeek app, or maybe if you are using their website, of course they have their servers in China, so your data goes to China. So, and again, that's the standard practice by every company, right? So if you use OpenAI's ChatGPT, your data is going to America. That is not that is there. If you are using something like Hugging Face or maybe some other chatbot, your data is going to Europe. So that is there. And one other thing they tell about is that it's heavily censored. So if you, many people ask questions about what happened in Tiananmen Square. So someone asks, what do you think about Xi Jinping? So it actually denies, saying that I can't answer about him. And again, for me, I think it's true. It's actually true that this model is censored if you are using it through their platforms, because let's all understand that this is a company from China, so they can't actually have a model abusing China, right? So China is actually very strict on their company, so they are heavily censored if you are using it through their chatbots. But again, if you want to use these models, you can fine tune it as you want. You can remove the censorship like Perplexity has done. So it's completely uncensored, right? So again, there are hundreds of different controversies that are coming day by day. So, but I just wanted to touch upon, if you are seeing any news about DeepSeek and what is happening in this, so you can understand that these are some of the things that are happening with them. Okay. So everything said. So like all the stories, all the benchmarks aside, controversies aside, uh, everything else aside, I would say these few things. So these are amazing models. So I have used them personally. I have used them through their chatbots. I have used these models to build applications. I would say that hands down, these are one of the best models that are available in the world today. And this is actually a wonderful gift to the community, not just to the AI community, but for the entire world. So we are able to, so instead of you having to pay hundreds of dollars to OpenAI just to use this model, you now have this model that you can download and use it anywhere. So it's actually a wonderful gift for community. And many companies that couldn't afford advanced AI or maybe frontier models are now able to do so because of DeepSeek, right? And frontier intelligence is also now cheap. So earlier, instead of shelling out hundreds of dollars on API, you could probably get the same within tens of dollars. So that actually makes a lot of difference if you're a small company that way. So now, okay, so this is the basic theory part that I wanted to talk about. And you might tell me, okay, so you have spoken a lot about DeepSeek this, DeepSeek that, so on and so forth. So you might tell me, okay, get to the point. How do I use them? How do I build apps with them? How do I build agents with them? So how do I do this? So I will try to cover this. How do you use them? But I'll just try to take two, three questions from the chat because I have some many interesting things also that I wanted to cover. So I'll just take a couple of questions at a time, and then I will go forward. Okay, I think there are a lot of questions. I'm able to scroll through them, but uh, okay, okay. So there are a lot of questions I'm not able to find. So if you have any new questions, you can just send on the chat uh, and ask some questions. Okay, great. So I'm probably assuming that I was crystal clear with whatever I have said. Uh, okay, so great. So this is the background of DeepSeek model. So if you uh, see news about R1 models or V3 models or anything, now you know the context. So now you know the background as to what is happening. So next time you see any update, you are better informed. So that is the thing. Now, what we will try to do is we will try to use this app. So how do I use them? So there are different ways you can use this chatbot. So if you want to use DeepSeek models as of today, so you can use it in different ways. So you can use it through chatbots, you can use it through APIs, or you can run them locally also. So I'll try to cover all the three methods, all the three methods. So running locally will be the bonus part that I will cover at last. But whereas the chatbots part and API part, I'll just try to show it to you right away. So how can you use DeepSeek a chatbot? So one thing is that due to an internet connection, so I'm just connecting from my phone. So whenever I open internet, so there might be a bit of lag. So please excuse if there is any lag that way while I sort out the issue. Okay. So if you want to use chatbots, if you want to use DeepSeek through chatbots, again, there are many chatbots that are available. So you can directly go to chat.deepseek.com and use it. But the way that I like to use it is through our own chatbot. So Build Fast with AI has its own chatbot that we have created internally. So you can go to this link, do a quick login and use it. So let me show you how this works. So I'm just going to the link. Okay, let me just refresh this. So I already have this. Open a new chat. Okay. So you can actually use the DeepSeek chatbot in different ways. You can actually go to the official DeepSeek chat website. But again, all the data that you're prompts that you're sending actually goes through China. But we have created our own version of DeepSeek R1, which you can use it for free on apps.buildfastwithai.com. And if you want to use through Perplexity, you can also use that. So let me tell you about few things. So this is not just any chatbot. So let's say if you say hi, so it's also telling you, hey, hello, how are you? So it's nothing out of ordinary. But as mentioned, this is R1 is not any simple model, but it's actually a reasoning model, right? So it's actually a reasoning model. So what does it mean by a reasoning model, right? So the model will actually think before giving any answer. So this is actually going to be a wonderful use case, right? So let me show you how. So let's say for a simple question like this, I'm just saying hi. So it doesn't have to think a lot about it. So it's just giving you a reply. But what if I ask it to give some complicated prompt or maybe something like that? So I said, tell me a story connecting under dog and let's say Mars. So these three words probably don't have any connection, thunder, dog, and Mars. So I'm asking an LLM to create a story. So create a horror story connecting thunder, dog, and Mars. So now whenever I click on this prompt, you can actually see the model is thinking first. So you can see this is the original answer that you will get from ChatGPT also. So if you ask the model and you're going to get the response as you see here. But the thing in this is that it's actually a reasoning model, right? So whenever you ask some question, uh, these models actually start thinking to themselves as to what should be the correct answer, so that this actually enormously improves the quality of model. So let us try to understand this clearly. So what am I asking here? I'm asking it to create a horror story connecting thunder, dog, and Mars. And you can see that the model is thinking to itself, all right, the user asked me to create a horror story. So first I should set the scene. So it is actually thinking about what should be the scene. And it's also thinking to itself, okay, Mars can be tricky. So if it's on Earth, it could have given something simple, but Mars is actually a bit tricky. So that model is thinking to itself, I should introduce a protagonist, and then as the story progresses and this thing. So the model is actually thinking some different ways to solve the problem, and then it is solving it. So it's similar to how humans do it, right? So let's say if anyone gives you a problem, you don't directly blurt out the answer. So you actually think about it, think about different possibilities, what is possible, what is not possible, and then you consider the options and then give you the answer. So that is the same thing that is happening with DeepSeek R1 model also. And this is the same thing that happens with OpenAI O1 model. So, but one thing that OpenAI has done is that they actually hide. So whenever you use, if you have GPT plus subscription, so you might have used O1 or O1 Pro models, but those models don't generally show you the thinking token. So these are the thinking tokens. This is actually hidden from you. So the OpenAI is afraid that someone will actually use their reasoning process to fine tune a model. But with R1 models, everything is free, so everything is visible. So whenever you ask a question, you see that it is doing that. So this makes this model very good at some subjects like mathematics and others as well. So let's say if you ask any question, so let's say if I ask it to solve some maths equation or maybe something like that. So generally LLMs are bad at math, but reasoning models are by far one of the best because they try to think about the solution and then give you the answer. Okay, it's running. Okay, let me just open this in the new chat. I think a lot of people have started using it. So we have some limits on number of chat sessions. So that might be the problem. So let me run this. Or maybe there is an internet issue from my end. So let me try this once. Okay, yeah, we have this. So you see that, right? So whenever I'm asking a question, instead of directly jumping to giving me a vague answer, so it's actually thinking to itself, okay, I have a quadratic equation in my hand. So how do I do this? So it's actually thinking. So once it feels that it has a correct answer, then it is giving it to you. So this is the benefit of using reasoning models. So reasoning models are exceptionally good for something that in complex tasks. So if you want to let's say for a simple task, like let's say if you're creating a customer service chatbot or something like that, you don't actually need a complex reasoning or complex task. But let's say if you're solving a maths problem, or maybe if you're brainstorming about your new business idea or something, these models are going to certainly help in that way. So this is how you can use DeepSeek R1 models. So again, there are different ways to use it. And I have shown you how you can use the model completely for free on Build Fast with AS chat. And we actually went a step further. So instead of, again, this chat interface and everything is something that is integrated to our website. But let's say if you want to create your own version of the chatbot with your own system prompts or maybe with your own designs. So we also have created that. So this is one chatbot template that we are giving you for free. So since you have taken effort to uh, attend this workshop, so we are actually giving this chatbot template for free. So you can go to this particular link that is mentioned in this, and you can use this, and you can also access the code for free. And let me show you. Okay. So what I'm doing is first you need to enter your Grok API key. So Grok is the API provider. So if you want to know, if you want to get your own Grok API key, you can go to this website called console.grok.com, and you can create a free account and you can get the account sorted. Okay, let me just send this. Yeah. So you can get your own Grok API key for free. So in this, you can just copy paste. So you can go to this link that I've given, DeepSeek R1 Grok dot chat stream. So I can send this on the chat as well if you want to use. And yeah, so it does the same thing, but you can own the code. So again, this is built by us. And if you also want to learn how to build some chatbots like this, right? And if you want to understand how you can build something like this from scratch, you can also enroll in our crash course on generative AI. So, but let me show you how this works. Just say hi. So there is no thinking process, right? So when you say hi, so it's not thinking to itself. So it's plain. But let's say how to give me 5-step process to end world's poverty. So I'm giving it a very hard problem. So let us see how this model thinks. Give me a 5-step process to end world's poverty. So we have, so in the bot that we have given you on Build Fast with AI's website, it also allows streaming also. So you can see as if every word is typed. So this is a free template that you can modify. So I've asked it to give me 5-step process to end world's poverty. So it's actually giving 5 steps. So first step is this, second, third, fourth, but we are actually interested in thought process. So you can look at it. So it says the user asked to give me a 5-step process. So that's a big question. So the model is thinking to itself that it's a big question and let me break it down into different steps. So it's actually thinking in this lines and then giving the answer. So one other benefit of using reasoning models is that it really allows you to see what the model is thinking. So whenever you ask ChatGPT to like sometimes the response might be good, sometimes the response might be bad, but you don't really have visibility into how these models are thinking. So whenever you are using reasoning models, you exactly know what the model is thinking. So let's say if you find the thinking is in wrong direction, so you can tweak your prompt in a way that it thinks about right things, right? So that way, uh, doing work with AI is a lot more easier or maybe a lot more efficient when you're using reasoning models. As of today, Gemini also has a reasoning model. Sorry, Google has a reasoning model. OpenAI has a reasoning model. Now, some Chinese companies like DeepSeek, Gwen also have reasoning models. I think just today, Mark Zuckerberg said that Llama 4 is going to be a reasoning model. So currently we are at Llama 3 version. So Llama 4 will also be a reasoning model. So now that is great. So till now we have covered about, okay, so if you want to use this model using a chatbot, so this is how you can use it. So there are many links to do that. So you can sign up on Build Fast with AI's chat and you can use the model for free. And what are the other ways? So let's say we also built, uh, so you might ask me, okay, how did you build this app? So how did you build this app, or how did you build the entire Build Fast with AI's chat where you are able to use it? So the answer is I actually use an API for the model. So I have taken API from DeepSeek, and I have used that use that API to connect it to the model and use it as the way I want, right? So how can you use a model through an API and how you can build apps with it? So that is what we will try to cover. So I'll just show you an example of the app that we are going to build right now. And then I'll actually share some code with you and do that. So before that, I'll need you to do a small, so I'll just show you a demo and I'll give you a small thing that you can help us with. Okay, so this is one app that we have built. So the idea with this app is, as mentioned, so I've actually created this application that is going to generate some quiz questions. So it's not a simple quiz generator where it is just generating some questions and 4 options. So it will actually generate some images also. So first enter your Grok API key. So I've already done that. And now let's say I want some questions on GMAT's statistic topics. And let's say I want 5 questions on that. Let me generate them. So while this is being generated, okay, you can see that it's actually generating a diagram. It's actually generating. So these are not pre-filled questions, right? These are not pre-filled questions. So these are the questions that are being generated as I just asked. So I just asked it to generate something, and it's generating something from scratch. So this is actually built using a DeepSeek model, and it's also powered by our own library called EduChain. So you can also check that out. So this is our EduChain library that we have built. Uh, so if you are feeling kind and if you are liking the session so far, so you can just give us a star on GitHub. So uh, and I'll shortly tell you how you can create something like this from scratch. You can go to GitHub and give us a star here so far. So I'm expecting to cross, uh, let's say there are 190 people on the call. So I'm expecting to see at least 100 people supporting us with this project. So this is an open source project to help where we actually use LLMs in education. So I'll shortly cover about it, but if you can just open the link that I've sent on the chat and throw us a star, it will help us understand it. Yeah, I'll give the link to the app once I see a good number here. I'll just share that very shortly. Okay, so this is the app that we have created, and we will share the link to the app very soon. So, meanwhile, if you can just show us some love on GitHub, so that would be great. So now let me show how you can create these apps from scratch. So how do I use API? So how can you use official DeepSeek API? How can you use Grok API? How can you use other APIs? So this is what I will try to cover very shortly. Okay, before that, I can actually take 2, 3 questions because it's been a while since I've taken a question. So if you have any questions or something, you can send it on the chat. I'll just take 2, 3 before I show you the code while I take a quick water break. Okay, 70 billion parameter, as I mentioned, it's not 70 million, it's 70 billion. So, as mentioned, DeepSeek has taken this 600 billion parameter model and also has given us many compressed versions also, a 70 billion parameter model. So I have been using 70 billion parameter model because it's very fast. So you can still use DeepSeek R1, which is actually the OG model, but it's little bit slow. So we want to balance between the intelligence and the speed. So I'm just using Llama 70B version for this, but you are free to use the original model also. Okay, someone is asking about the certificate. So if you can share about this session on the social media, LinkedIn or any platform, and tag Build Fast with AI, and also quickly write about what you have learned from the session, we'll provide you a certificate. So the certificate won't be a default thing. So if you have attended the session, if you can share something about it on the social media, write about what are the learnings that you had in the session, and tag us, we will send you a certificate as well. Okay, great. So let me go to the question. Let me go to the coding part. And again, like there were at least 20% of the people in this call who have never coded before. So don't worry. So it's not something that is complicated. It's very simple, few lines at a time. So don't worry. So this is the code that we will be using. Okay, let me clear all the outputs. So first of all, what should we do? So first thing that we will do is we'll need to install LangChain DeepSeek official library. So this library actually allows us to use DeepSeek models within using Python. Let me run this code. Okay, link to this collab. I'll just send the link on the chat so you can also use it if you want. Yeah. So this is the link. The link is in the chat. So if you want to run along, you can run along. But again, if you are facing some errors, I might not be able to debug it right now, given the amount of people we have in the call. So what we are doing is we are just installing LangChain library, and I actually don't need OpenAI key for this. So let me just comment it out. Let me run this again. Okay, great. So now what we can do is, if you want to use a model from DeepSeek, so the simple step is, so there are two models as I mentioned. So LangChain has two models. So one is the LangChain chat model and LangChain reasoner model. So chat model is actually DeepSeek V3, and reasoner model is actually the R1 model that we have been discussing about. So if you want to use, so let's say, again, as mentioned, V3 is a competitor to GPT-4o. So wherever you want to use GPT-4o, you can switch to V3 model. So wherever you wanted to use a reasoning model, so you can actually use a reasoner version, right? So this is a competitor of O1, and this is of GPT-4o. So you can choose which model that you want. So it's just a matter of changing line or maybe some part here and there, so you can understand it. So the first thing is, let me show you how you can use a chat model. So this is how you can use. So you just say chat DeepSeek model is equal to DeepSeek chat. So this is by default going to which model? It's actually going to DeepSeek V3 model. So let's say if you want to use a model that is reasoner model. So let me, okay, I'll write about this in a while, but you get the point. Okay, great. Okay, now let us say I'm just asking it a question. Hey, what's up? So let's see what DeepSeek replies on this. Hey, not much. Just here to help you out. What's up with you? So it's a good response. So you can actually ask it some complex questions also. So here is how this code snippet that you're seeing is. This is 2 lines of code, and you can actually directly use the model. So this is how simple it is. You can download a package and use the model within just 2-3 lines of code. And the thing is, one other thing is technical Q&A. What you can do is, let's say if you want to ask some complex questions, so you can ask, explain quantum computing in single terms, or maybe you can just say, like, I am 10-year old. So let us see the response. Okay, so as you can see that currently this is the response that we are giving. So DeepSeek is actually giving you a response. So what I've basically done when I created the chatbot is, so whenever a user is sending the message, so I'm just sending it to the DeepSeek chatbot and getting the response back, and I'm displaying it in the chatbot format. So this is the code. So this is the simple code, just 2-3 lines of code at a time, and stitch that into a chatbot. So that is how you can develop this. And you can actually use it in different ways and forms. So you can just uh, write a prompt for code generation. You can type a prompt for mathematical reasoning. You can do anything, right? So this is how you can use this model using LangChain. But what if you want to use this model for some other purposes, or maybe you want to use this model from a different provider? So there are different providers that you can use this model from. So one example being Grok. So if you want to use this model using Grok and you want to find the code snippet, so you can just go to console.grok.com. And once you log in and sign up, you will see this interface. You can just click on this. Select this model, DeepSeek R1 Distill Llama 70B. Click on this. So you can see if you are able to chat with this model. Hi, hello, anything. So it's actually giving you a response. So the thing is, within the console itself, whenever you're using, there is a button called view code. So you can just click on that. So this is the code. So let's say if you want to use this model in Python, you can just copy paste this code, go to your chatbot and use that. So for the application, for the chatbot application, I have actually used Grok to actually develop this. So this is the code snippet. So if you want to try it out, I'm just sending it on the chat as well. And take this code, you can spin it off into different ways that you want, and you can use it to create any application. So yeah, and now coming to the question as to how can you create a quiz application, or maybe any other innovative applications like this. So where you're just giving it a question and you're able to get the answer. So how do you do that? So for that, I have the code written in the same notebook so that I'll show you. So for that, you will actually need to install EduChain library. So if I, so if we have crossed good number of stars, I think I'll share the code for the app for free. So we are just installing this. So if you want to create any quiz application, if you are working on any sort of education apps, quiz generation, lesson plan generation, or anything, you can use EduChain. So this is the library that we have created. So now I'm linking it to a DeepSeek model. Using this, we can create any types of questions within few lines of code. I think there is some error in the, I think it ran for too long. So this might take a while to get installed. Okay, I think it actually ran. So let me see if it works. So you can actually give EduChain what topic you want and what is the question type you want, and you have the questions right away, right? You can just run this. So I asked it to create 3 questions on solar system, and it's actually creating 3 questions in a very good format. Let's say you want to create questions on Indian history, and you are actually using a DeepSeek model, as you can see. So you can run that. So you have the questions. So you see that. So I asked about Indian history. So it's asking who is the first Prime Minister of India. So if you want to use this app to create any sort of applications using DeepSeek or anything, so you can use EduChain for it. I'm just seeing. I think we didn't even cross 250. So once it crosses 250, so I'll actually share the Streamlit code with you. So if you are not liked it or started, so you can just give it. So once it crosses 250, so I'll share the link to this free app that I have created here. Okay, so this is how you can take any application that you want and you can spin it off to create using DeepSeek. So the idea is, even if you're doing any code, you can just use 3-4 lines of code at a time to actually use this model in any way that you want. Right. So these are just the 2-3 lines that you could use. And let's say if you want to use a DeepSeek R1 model, so what you can say is model is equal to DeepSeek reasoner. So this is how you use a reasoning model. So let me comment this one out. And this is actually using DeepSeek R1. So you can run this model and you can just, so see how simple it is, right? You just have to change few letters here and there, and you can shift from V3 model to R1 model. And you're anyways using DeepSeek API key, so it will again work very fine. Okay, there is a question on the chat. Can DeepSeek be used to generate videos? Unfortunately, no, because DeepSeek is a text-to-text model. So you give it text, it will also give you text. And again, so actually, while all this was happening, just 2 days back, DeepSeek actually released a image model also, actually a multimodal model called JNS 7B. So that can actually generate images, but it might be a while before these models also generate something like that. Okay. So with this thing, so these are some of the core things that I wanted to cover in this session today. So where we have talked about everything from what DeepSeek is, what are the new models, how can you use it using chat, how can you use it through APIs and everything. But okay, so the core thing, so the next thing that we would be covering is how you can download this model on your own system and use it for free, right? So till now, you have seen how you can take a R1 model using a chatbot or using an API. But how can you exactly run a DeepSeek model locally without internet, without Wi-Fi, without Bluetooth? No Wi-Fi, no Bluetooth, just your laptop. So just using your CPU, you don't need any expensive NVIDIA chips also to run. You can run it on your own laptop. But this is actually going to be a bonus part. So you will have to spare me for 2-3 minutes while I talk about our course and other things that we offer. So I'll just try to spend 3-4 minutes there, and I will come back to this, and I will also share the link to the apps that we have created very shortly. So first of all, what I would like to do is I think we have all gathered here today to discuss about a new piece of technology, and I've also mentioned that you can get a certificate if you share about this event and write about the learnings. So for that, I wanted to click a quick picture with you all guys. So if you can just switch on your camera for a second, I'll just take a quick screenshot, and you can do that. We have a lot of good volunteers who have quickly switched on, so which is great. Okay, waiting for the last row to be complete as well. So that is great. Good one, good number of volunteers. So let me just click a quick picture. Just one more. Okay, I think everyone can also smile, I guess. So I think I just took a screenshot, but everyone looks very serious. So if you can smile, that would also be great. Wonderful. So thank you all for switching on your cameras and being very sportive. So let me go back to those slides again. Okay. So once we are done with the photo, so I wanted to talk about this technology, right? So you see that DeepSeek R1 is, again, we are only, uh, I would say we are only 1.5 year into generative AI, right? So generative AI in the way or form that it is today. So it's not a very old technology. So it's only been around 1.5 years. And you see the crazy things that are happening, right? So we have a model which is as intelligent as Einstein, that you can just download and use it anywhere, right? So imagine what would happen in the next 2 years, what would happen in the next 5 years or even 10 years, right? So generative AI is going to be more and more powerful. So, and you will also have a beginner advantage. So it's just like learning about building applications in 1990s, right? So when internet just came around. So let's say uh, uh, in 2000s, if you have learned how to build a website, so this is similar to that, right? So if you learn generative AI today, it will be equivalent to learning about building websites back in 2000s, or even uh, maybe I'm missing out an analogy again, but you get the point, right? So you will have a first movers advantage if you learn generative AI today, right? And this is the best time to get into it. And what are the other reasons why you need to learn generative AI as of today? So I'll give you two main reasons. So there might be a number of reasons, right? So many of you might have already have some reasons as to why you want to learn Gen AI, but I will give you two main reasons. So the first reason is the productivity benefit that you can get by using generative AI, and the second reason is staying relevant. So I'll talk about both of them in a minute. So productivity gains are unparalleled, right? So if you learn how to use generative AI properly, so you can easily become 10 times, 20 times, or even 50 times more productive, right? So just for example, the library, the education library that I've just shown you. So the first iteration, let's say I had an idea for this library many days, like for many months. Uh, and I was just having a lot of trouble to get started. So once I started, I have used Claude mainly and a few other tools, and I was able to write the entire library. The first version of the library, I was able to write it in one day. So I was a Python developer before. I used to write a lot of Python code, but without using AI tools, it would have easily taken me around 2 to 3 weeks, and that too with a lot of errors. So I'm able to condense all that work into one day. And this is not just true with coding. So it's also true with every other profile. So let's say if you're a product manager and you want to create a PRD or maybe document, instead of spending hundreds of hours figuring that out, you can actually do that right away. So if you are working in marketing, if you are a founder, or even if you are anything, so you can actually get a lot of productivity gains if you learn generative AI. And one final example is myself, like as a founder, as a instructor, as a consultant, I actually don a lot of hats. So I'm able to do all of them because I know how to use generative AI very well, right? So I don't think I would have handled whatever I'm doing 2 years back if AI was not there. So if you learn AI today, you will be a lot more productive, and you will be a lot more, you will have a lot of time to do other things or maybe enjoy. And the second thing is staying relevant. So now people were telling that AI is coming for your job, right? But think about this, a model like DeepSeek R1, which scores 97% in advanced math, can easily take away your data scientist job, right? A model like, let's say, Claude 3.5 Sonnet that scores 95%, 98% on some coding evaluations can easily take your software developer job. So it's not a matter of if it will happen or not, it's actually happening. So like Meta just announced that they are going to get rid of all like AI will be actually used as a mid-level engineer starting this year. Many companies are also downsizing because of AI. So staying relevant is important for two reasons: to protect yourself from automation. So as much as you would like to believe otherwise, this is happening right now. So if you want to stay uh, like protect your job, it's actually good. And one more reason is, what I am seeing is every company, uh, big corporates, medium companies, startups, every company wants to do generative AI, but there are not a lot of people who know AI, right? So if you are able to upskill in generative AI today, so it will actually be a very big boost. So your company, you will be very much valuable for your company. Or even if you have some ideas that you want to build out as a founder or anything, it will be very helpful to learn this. So you have to learn generative AI because the benefits outweigh like benefits are like crazy. So given all these points, so if you want to get started with generative AI journey, so the best way to do, again, we have recently started a cohort this January. So it has only been a few days. So we are still like taking applications for this. So if you want to know more about the course, if you want to get some amazing discounts, so this is like we have exclusive discounts for the first month of this year, which is Jan. So you can actually avail some exclusive discounts for the course. And how do you do that? Just say hi on the chat. So we have your details. So we will text you the course link. We will text you the exclusive promo code that you can use to like get the course at discount and everything. So all you need to do is just send hi on the chat, and we will send you the details about how you can register for the course. So I'll just try to cover some basic details about the course first. So the course is of 6 weeks. The course is of 6 weeks, where we will take you through everything that is happening in this generative AI space. So one thing that I will tell you is, given that I've spent a lot of time in this area, there is too much happening in generative AI that we can't deny. But one fact is that even though there is happening too much in generative AI, so there are only 4 or 5 concepts that cover around 90% of applications. So let's say something like prompt engineering, how to use simple LLM APIs like the one that I've shown you, RAG, fine tuning, agents, or maybe multimodal models and others. So these are the 4 or 5 topics that cover around 90% of AI applications. So if you want to get started with your Gen AI journey, uh, you can go through this structured course where every module, so we try to cover this. So in the first module, we try to cover techniques like prompt engineering, what are LLMs, how you can do that. In the second module, we cover everything about how you can build any chatbot. So in this very lecture, I have shown you how you can create a chatbot for R1, right? We will also show you how you can create a PDF chatbot using R1. Not just R1, but with any LLM. So you can take any LLM and build a chatbot on top of it. So that is something that we will show. Fine tuning is some a topic for module 3. Then we cover agents. Then we use all these concepts to build your own SaaS businesses using different tools. And in module 6, we have a capstone project where you can actually build a AI product from scratch, right? So this is the idea of the 6 week course that we are doing, right? So if you have been like, if you are in the session, it's almost 1.5 hours since the session. If you're liking whatever we are teaching, so imagine me teaching all these concepts step by step for 6 weeks. So you will actually become very good at generative AI, and you will also be able to apply these concepts very well. So if you are interested in knowing more about Gen AI and want to learn, so all you need to do is just say hi on the chat, and we will send you the course details and promo code that you can get to avail the course. And maybe I'll just spend one last minute to actually show you the platform that we are building. So if you go to the Build Fast with AI website, so you can actually see a premium. So you won't be able to see a premium platform right now because it is only visible to the people who have our premium subscription or maybe purchase the course. So this is the platform that you will have access to, and you will have a lot of mentorship sessions where I will be there to guide you and explain all the concepts one by one. So this is the uh, like we have 6 modules. In each module we have again 5 topics, and each topic has again 4 or 5 videos. So we start from absolute basics, so we don't assume anything. So I just start from basics of Python. So even if you're not able to understand some basic Python code that I've shown you in this session, so you don't need to worry. As long as you are open to learning this, we have everything covered in the session. So this course will take you from very basic 0 to 1 in generative AI, and we also will build a lot of apps. So for example, the chatbot that I've shown you is a part of module 2, right? So as you can see, module 1 is something that we have just started. So module 2 is going to start very soon. Uh, so we will do so this course is just started few days back, so you can get access to the course in this cohort only for the exclusive discount that we are giving in the month of Jan. So all you have to do is just to say hi on the chat. And one more thing is, all the people in the cohort will get unlimited access to 50 plus applications that you have built. So these are more than 50 plus applications. There are some character chatbots, there are some RAG chatbots, and many different types of these. So all the people who get through our course will have unlimited access to all these chatbots for 3 months. So even if you want to chat with R1, or maybe if you want to chat with some models like GPT-4 or Claude 3.5 Sonnet, you can do that completely for free for 3 months on our platform. And how do you sign up for the course? I think I've already said that enough. So you just say hi in the chat. We'll send you the details that will help you sign up for the course. Okay, so now I am done with my side of pitching. I have done that. A few things. So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. So you can send me a connection request. You can follow me on Twitter to get latest updates on generative AI. And that being said, Okay, I'll just wait for a quick water break. I'll just send my LinkedIn profile on the chat. So if you want, you can just connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Just a second while I grab the link. Oh yeah, thank you Nagbani for helping. So yeah, this is my LinkedIn link. So you can just send me a connection request and stay connected and follow the AI updates that we are giving. So yeah, so if you are interested in the course, you can just say hi on the chat and we will be there to help you. So now, as promised, I'm now going to show you how you can run a DeepSeek model completely locally without Wi-Fi, without Bluetooth. I'm not going to switch off my Wi-Fi because if I switch off, I'll be disconnected from the call. But trust me that whatever I'm showing you will actually work even without a Wi-Fi connection. So for that, what we will be doing is we will be using an application called Olama. So let me go to Olama. Olama is an application that will let you run these models. Olama is an application that will let you run open source models directly on your computer. So you see that DeepSeek R1 has just released 8 days ago, and you see how many times it has been downloaded. It has been downloaded 40 lakh times. So whereas a Llama 3.3 model released 2 months ago does not even has a million, right? So this is how popular these models are becoming, and rightly so. These are very good models. So let's say you can run a 7 billion parameter model, 8 billion, or even if you are very adventurous and if your laptop has 400 GB in memory and tons of RAM, you can run that. But for this purpose, let me show you how you can run a very small model. So it's just a 1 GB model that you can just take and run it on your laptop completely for free. So I'm just grabbing this command. I'll go to my uh, chatbot. I can just clear this. So this is the command to run a DeepSeek model on your laptop without internet. So just run. You will need to download the Olama application first. So if you go to their website on the right hand side top, you see the download button. So you will first need to download the Olama desktop application. Then only it will work. And then you can just say Olama run DeepSeek 1.5b. Let me run this. Okay, let me try again. Okay, it's working now. So I say hi. So it's actually thinking. So there is no thinking involved. So the amazing thing is this is a 1 billion parameter model, which is 1 GB size, but it's actually very good. So I was pleasantly surprised to see this. You can ask it to tell me a story. I'm just asking or maybe give me a 5-step process. Give me a 3-step process to end world's hunger. You see that this is a tiny model which runs very fast. So I think my laptop is already overloaded with Zoom, screen share, my iPad, and everything. But if I stop that, it will actually run even more faster. So you can see that this model is running. It's just thinking to itself by this. And I've also made a post on this a while back. So I was uh, traveling in the flight. I didn't have access to internet, but I was able to open Olama and actually run the model. So it's like Chat GPT that you can use it anywhere, even as long as you have battery in your laptop, you can run these models. So yeah, you can see that it's actually giving a very elaborate answer. So it's not a model that you can just uh, say that okay, it's just a 1 billion parameter model. It might not be useful. That's not actually true. It's actually giving you a very elaborate answer and starting step by step. I'll just end this because it might take some time. But you can use that and create applications from this. So if you want to use a local chatbot, we also have a template for that. Okay, let me just say bye to Olama because it might heat up my laptop. So yeah, so the only thing that you will need to do is download Olama and run this command. You will be able to use this app. And if you want to know more about how you can use R1 models, how you can build chatbots, PDF chatbots, or importantly, AI agents and everything, so you can stay high on the chat. We will let you know the details about signing up for the course and everything. Okay. So these were the core things that I wanted to cover today. So let me just check back if we have crossed 250 and I'll give you a free app. Okay, three more to go. You will have a free app template. So what will be the minimum GB required to install Olama? So Olama is again a desktop app. It won't take a lot of space in itself, but uh, yeah, if you are downloading a 1 billion parameter model, you will not need a lot of space. 1 GB is required, and you will need a minimum 3 GB RAM. So if you're running a 7 billion parameter model, you will need at least 8 GB RAM. Uh, and yeah, again, we are running it in Q4 quantization 4 version. If you are running it in high precision, it will require a lot more. Okay, so I'll take, so these are the things. So I'll just maybe just make some concluding remarks from my end and I'll take more questions while I still wait this to cross the line of 250. So yeah, so one thing that I wanted to tell is thank you all for attending the session today. So I hope you have learned something new about DeepSeek. Uh, I think yeah. So DeepSeek is just get started. I think they will release new more. They have also said in some release that they are going to release a new version very soon. So that's amazing. So next time you see anything related to DeepSeek, I think you are a lot more informed than your peers. So educate others about generative AI, whatever you have learned. So the recording for the session will be sent to you on your email. And if you're not added on our Telegram group or WhatsApp group, please do. So we will send you updates there as well. So if you want a certificate for this course, so all you have to do is to just share about the session on your LinkedIn. Just tag us and let us know what you have learned. So once you do that and tag us, we will send you the certificate as well. Okay, I think thank you everyone for joining the call today. It's been great. Hope you all learned something new and hope to see you all in our future courses and workshops. So until then, we'll meet you.